Hey guys, Dragon Ball for Life here today. I'm back with another video. Now today's video we're going to be reacting to Seth the Programmer's How Strong is Gohan Beast. Now I kind of, reacted to a video similar to this by Chuck, his friend. He did one where just talking about, Cell Max and, what the level of power he had and what level of danger he was. And he also obviously mentioned Piccolo Orange and Gohan Beast in it. But I feel like this one by, Seth is going to be mainly and specifically talking about just Gohan Beast power. And at the time when I reacted to, Chuck's one, the film didn't come out in English dub, so I couldn't watch it in American stuff. And when it did come out, I wanted to check it out. I made a review of it. You guys should go check it out. I also made a power scaling video of it, so you guys should also go check that out. But yeah, I talked about that, and I was talking about it because of what Chuck mentioned, and the levels of like power scaling that he stated from what was shown or what was stated from the movie itself, and. I basically said when I first watched it, I was like, I haven't seen the film, so I can't really say if he's right or wrong. So I just waited for the film to come out to make my own, arguments. And I did make my own video, which was, a little bit different than what he thought. So I'm going to listen to what Seth has to say about it and see if I agree with it or not. Because I have watched the movie, and I do have a different opinion than a lot of other people. If you check out my power scaling video of Dragon Ball Superhero, you will find out that I don't fully agree with some of the statements that a lot of fans are making with it because of what was shown in the movie to me and what I perceived from the movie itself. But before I get into this, I do want to say I saw that Death Battle has come back with a new season. They dropped out John Wick versus James Bond. I was thinking of reacting to it, but personally I only care about John Wick and I don't really care about James Bond, so I was like, you know what, I'm not. I did check the next one that's coming up. It's going to be Black Adam versus Apocalypse, which I'm very excited for. I really do love Black Adam. I think he's cool. Apocalypse, I don't really know much about him, but I'll definitely check that out. So when on September 19th, I will definitely check out, that Death Battle, and I'll do a reaction with you guys. But I'm not doing it for this one because I only care about John Wick and I don't really like James Bond. So yeah, let's get into this video.
Son of Goku and probably the poster child for how to write a son when it comes to shonen battle series.
So yeah, I skipped a bit. I had to edit because I was trying to see through this video. I thought it was just going to be purely just talking about how powerful he is by using, feats from like, previous characters and making comparisons from statements. But from what I was looking at, he was mainly, talking about what happened in the past in Z and all this other stuff. And I obviously was trying to lead up to something, but I don't think it's necessary for this video, so I had to cut that out. If there's anything like that, you will see jump cuts throughout this, video where I'm going to be just cutting these parts out. Because I really don't care about those parts. I'm just mainly focusing on the power scaling that he's going to give for Gohan and, some of his arguments for it.
The true Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, Gas, Granola, Moro, etc. As crazy as that sounds. This is due to the age of Goten and Trunks and the way the movie is promoted on the...
Yeah, I heard somebody say, basically what he's talking about is that the movies after the Granola arc and events and stuff, and I heard someone saying, no, maybe it's around the time and stuff, and I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. Goten and Trunks were adults, and at that time they were still kids, so that obviously contradicts that statement. Now, some people, and myself included, are confused on what they're going to do when they come back with it. How are they going to proceed with, coming back with the show? Personally, I feel like they should do, like, maybe a little recap of what happened in the movies, and, I don't really know, to be honest, because that happens prior to the Gohan, the Dragon Ball Superhero movie. They could probably, I guess, do the Moro arc and the Granola arc and the anime, and then when it comes to that, they could just do a recap on what happened in the movie, and then skip it, and then just go to, the time after that, basically around the end of Z portion of, Dragon Ball Z. Personally, I think the movie does kind of mess up the chronology of the series and does make it more confusing. And the power scaling does get a little more, confusing because of it too. I feel like what I heard somewhere, somebody said, I don't know if it's true, they said that the movie might not be canon. They said that the movie might not be actually part of the story. It might be some alternate timeline thing like GT or whatever. I don't know if that's true. But if they do go that route, I wouldn't be too mad. I feel like it's fine as a film that doesn't have to connect with the actual story. The main story it wouldn't really fit in too well.
The timeline, and while there are some conflicting reports of it talking about being after Frieza and Broly. There's also material that clearly references Moro and Granola as well as Goten and Trunks' ages that make it pretty hard to say it doesn't take place after.
They're only 12 and 13?
For this video,
Yeah.
since the Dragon Ball anime stopped at...
And if you know this, people were complaining about, Trunks and Goten staying kid form forever, but Goku is, like, basically, like, 12, and then he was, like, turned 13, and even when he was, like, around, like, 15, he was still a small child level. Right now, these guys are only 12 and 13. I thought they were a lot older, but they're only 12 and 13, and they look significantly older than him. They look like they're, like, at least in their teenagers, like 15, 16. And Goku, as a teenager, he looked like he was, like 8 or 9 at most. So, yeah, the development of the Saiyans, like, as a kids, is weird and it gets confusing, but it makes more sense why they were, like, a child looking for such a while, because same thing happened with Goku,
Broly, we will be using a few elements from both the anime and the manga in our analysis here. The antagonist of this movie is the Red Ribbon Army, and a scientist in particular named Dr. Hito, who can make super powerful androids like Jiro, and capable of giving the Mimic all of these designs, and then watching battles such as the Moro battle, Broly battle, and much more, and then makes androids called Gammas, capable of facing down this threat as if they're some type of superhero and that all the Z fighters are villains they have to defeat. With some promotional material straight up saying that Gammas rival Goku and Vegeta in strength.
Androids created by Dr. Hito, a genius scientist hired by the new Red Ribbon Army, having studied Goku and other super warriors, they're equipped with the ultimate power to compete with them. Well, here's a couple of things about it. One, I do not like the idea of these characters in such a high, powerful battle that will destroy, massive amount of area with a amount of, like, crazy amount of destructive power, yet a small, tiny machine can handle it, Like, these little spy bugs should not be able to handle these battles. The amount of energy they generate should vaporize it, because they're destroying rocks in the entire area, especially the Goku versus, Goku Vegeta versus, Broly fight. It completely changed the whole terrain and made it go from an icy area to a volcanic area. How the hell does this thing survive? I don't like that. That's one of the biggest gripes I had. Not the biggest, but one of the gripes I had with the Cell Saga, with the Spy Bug. I just felt like it made no sense that it could survive the battles, unless it was an astronomical amount of distance away where it's safe enough, and it was able to, inspect it like a telescope would be. That would make more sense. But the fact that they're destroying it close to the battlefield, I was like, it should have been destroyed or whatever. Also, him saying that it was competing with them because of what Dr. Hito said. No offense to Dr. Hito, but he probably doesn't know how powerful Goku and the others are. He doesn't. Just because he's a scientist does not mean he can, 100% calculate how fast these guys are, how durable these guys are, or how powerful these guys' attacks are. There's no way he can get an accurate estimate of all those things because he doesn't understand the level of the power they have. So he might say that, but that might not be the case. And I do have an argument for it, but I'll hold off on it and I'll say it a little bit later because there's something I want to talk about that, and I want to see what he says.
Due to this, the Gammas rivaling Goku and Vegeta make 100% sense narratively speaking for a few reasons, but the first one is that the last big battle Hito watched was the Moro arc. Thus, he would make the Gammas strong enough to beat Goku and Vegeta from that arc. However, due to them getting stronger during Granola, Hito wouldn't account for this insane...
So like I said, as a regular human, your understanding of their strength would be proportional to what you deal with. Yes, some might say, well, Dr. Giro was able to create androids super powerful and calculated to that levels, but even he was caught off guard, and on top of it, he was... from when he made the androids, he kind of overdid it. He didn't expect them to be that powerful. He created this infinite energy source that gave them this astronomical amount of power. Personally, I always felt that the Cell Saga was kind of BS. It made no sense that, humans with machine parts would be able to handle aliens that can destroy planets and go fast than the speed of light. It's not very logical, but at least the argument was, the energy, infinite energy source was the reason they were that powerful. Because normally the androids they were decently powerful, but not enough. But now they're on godly levels. I highly doubt that he could understand the levels of godly power to construct, creatures on that level. And like I said, I do have an argument for it, which I want to see if he talks about it, because if you actually watch the movie, there were statements that were made and statements by the writers, but what we've seen in the movie itself does not really correlate, and it's kind of contradictory from what I saw. But everybody has different interpretations of different things.
Evolution, and they would end up as rivals in strength. As a reminder, the last time Jiro watched Goku fight, he watched the Saiyan Saga battle, and he made androids that could clap Super Saiyan Goku after training for 3 years after Namek. So let that sit in.
Like I said, that's one of the reasons I hate it. Cell Saga people love it, but it's like, it's shit writing. It made no sense that, mechanical creatures of any kind could be able to do that. But two, it was explained that the reason why they were so powerful wasn't because he created them so powerful, is because he created the infinite energy source that they get draw their power from. He created that. Like, the machine parts that he gave to them was obviously to try to make them more powerful, but the energy source, I highly doubt that he expected it to be that powerful and give them that much of a power boost compared to what he thought. So he's trying to equate it to, well, he only saw them when they were far weaker but created stronger models. But I think it's not because he created strong models, it's because he created such a powerful energy source that gave them that power boost. But he himself did not expect that energy source to be that ridiculously powerful. It went past his expectations.
We'll let that sink in. Well, I'm personally not a fan of the Gammas being this strong. It is the point of the movie, and the androids have always just kind of done that. These dorky robots that are just as strong as the Z-Fighters no matter what they do for no reason. And Piccolo himself even thinks the Gammas are Goku and Vegeta tier after fighting them. And he's a great combat analyst, much more than most characters at least, and has not only trained Gohan perfectly to near Goku's level in just a day or two in the Tournament of Power, but watch Goku fight Moro alongside Vegeta pretty extensively, as well as fighting Moro himself. He has also seen Goku fight Jiren. And
he said Goku level, but having the Dragon Ball Super fans and him, weren't they the people that are arguing that the reason that these guys were able to handle Goku is because Goku was, one, holding back, and two, he was just trying to see their power by, how they can handle, a godly being. So, by going by their argument and stuff, then Gohan would not be on Goku's level because Goku was significantly holding back. He wasn't actually using his full power. Because by that logic, you'd say Krillin was able to do it because he was fighting a Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Fat Buu was able to do it. Tien, I guess, was somewhat able to do it. So you can make those arguments then. But we saw from the Tournament of Power, Gohan was nowhere near Super Saiyan Blue Goku's level. He was obviously on the bottom, the lower bottom tier of that power. Golden Frieza could have easily, handled Gohan by himself. He could have easily handled him by himself. So yeah, I don't agree with that statement that he was on that level at all. From what was shown, and seeing as how he's gotten even weaker in this movie where Piccolo mentioned multiple times, he would have had a significant drop in power to the point where even if, let's say, he did help him to get that much more powerful, he would have gone significantly below that at that point because Piccolo was super disappointed at what he was at, and Goku just has gotten stronger and stronger throughout the story as progressed.
It sets the power level up brutally and still makes this statement. The second point of the Gammas is that they are clearly supposed to be the equivalent of Goku and Vegeta in the movie when the gang fights.
Also, they say that Piccolo stuff, but they do have some dumb writing where the characters say stuff that don't make sense. And the thing about, they say, well, he says Piccolo is a very good strategist and, able to analyze and stuff. But then remember, Goku's also supposed to be that, even to the highest degree, and that guy, they made him an idiot. When he was fighting against Kale, his Kamehameha in Super Saiyan Blue form, he wasn't able to stop her or take her out, and people's argument was like, well, he was holding back. And my kind of argument to that, which I didn't make a video on it, was if he was holding back, and he is like a smart genius fighter and he can calculate and, see, then why did he hold back so significantly? Why didn't he hold back to the point where he can't kill her, but he still can take her out? Because if you're saying he's significantly stronger than her, he's just holding back, why was he so stupid and didn't know how to gauge it? Well, it either means that he was not powerful or he's just dumb. So you can make the same argument for Piccolo that maybe he's just not as, the writing is so stupid that it made him sound dumb himself. They did the same thing with, in this movie too, but you had Piccolo, Vegeta meditating, and Goku's like, what are you doing? Why are you meditating? He's like, this is how you get stronger and stuff like that. And Goku's like, really? And it's like, that's stupid. Goku knows that. So they sometimes do that where they dumb down characters that should be geniuses when it comes to fighting and make them say stupid things. Like Goku saying that is like, you've meditated before. You know how training works. You know the importance of keeping a sound body and mind. And the fact that you're acting like, why are you training your mind? It should be only your body. It showcases the writers, especially Toriyama, clearly does not know what the hell they're writing about these characters. And there's a lot of inconsistencies when it comes to the writing itself.
Cell Max. They have the same power as the two of them, grow stronger in battle just like the two of them do, and one Gamma even does a self-destructing maneuver to help everyone get an advantage on Cell Max. I go over a lot more of these reasons in Gohan Beast vs. Gogeta Blue I did with Geekdom 101 and MJTV. You can check out in the description if you're actually interested.
You guys want me to check that out and make a reaction video to it? I don't want to do too many of, Dragon Ball superheroes, like, power scaling. Because I already did Chuck's one and I'm doing his one. I don't want to do too many on, like, Orange Piccolo and, Beast Gohan and Cell Max. But if you guys really want to see that one, I will definitely check it out for you guys. But if you don't want to, it's fine.
Anyway, for the most part, these Gammas are Goku and Vegeta, give or take. Piccolo then goes Orange Piccolo. Once again, I'm not making that up. He's called Orange Piccolo, and one-shots a Gamma. Once again, not making that. He actually one-shots a Gamma that he thinks is as strong as Goku and Vegeta. And
false
calculations. But he does not retract his statement about them. He actually doubles down on his statement after doing that. That means this dude, Piccolo, thinks he could one-punch, like Saitama mode, Ultra Instinct Goku in the face, and then fold him like a Looney Tunes character. Or at the very worst, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, which I honestly wouldn't be surprised about either, but you'd think Hito would account for the forms beyond blue, and Piccolo would specify that he just meant blue and not the Omen forms or something. But if you need a lot of copium, just say they mean Blue Goku. I don't really care for whatever reason. Anyway, Cell Maxon comes in and not only can throw hands with this super orange Piccolo that could fold Goku and Vegeta, allegedly, but also the two Gammas that both rival them at the same time. The battle that then unfolds between Cell Max and all of these fighters is talked about in promotional material as, once again, and I'm not joking, the strongest battle in all of history.
I want to take those statements too literal. That's one of the biggest problems when it comes to debaters and stuff. They're like, well, they say this. Like, here's the thing. A lot of times when, these writers or authors or whatever they're writing, they put statements like these that are ridiculous, not as literal statements. They are more hyperbolic. They're more to, amplified. The fact they're saying that is just to, promote the movie more and be like, look at the most powerful battle in history, which, let's be honest, it's not. It's clearly not, and I'll get into why it's not, but they say stuff like that just to amplify. They say all the time, this character has infinite power, this and that, and it's not always true. People who go too much on statements without it having anything to back it up usually become, it's hard to listen to you because it's like, you clearly don't have any critical form of critical thinking or analytical thinking to the point where anything that's told to you, you just accept it and don't try to, analyze it and see if it makes sense or not. You just go with it and run with it because it was stated. So that's one of the problems I have with a lot of these writers. They write shit that doesn't make sense and they don't know. And that happens to me sometimes. I make videos, I make statements, people take it literally, and I'm like, look, I'm saying these stuff most of the times. I'm forgetting it, and I'm not saying it just to say whatever, but I'm saying it, and not everything has to be specifically meaning something. And that's what happens with these writers. They write stuff like this, and it doesn't literally mean the exact thing that they're writing. It's just, for entertainment. For them saying the strongest battle in history doesn't mean it's literally the strongest battle in history. It's just to, put some more oomph to the movie to get more promotion out of it.
Even if you just mean battles we've seen released at the point of the movie, this would include UI Goku versus Jiren and Gogeta Blue versus Broly. This is apparently a higher level. After Orange Piccolo is defeated and plays up his defeat a bit for Gohan, Gohan gives one of the rawest transformations I've ever seen in fiction, period. And absolutely,
I wouldn't say that. He had a cool transformation, but not the rawest in fiction, period.
That Jiren and Broly would probably struggle with, even being generous if you think he's weaker than them for whatever reason. Cell Max can't even punch through Gohan's aura. That's right, he doesn't just tank the attack with his body like Gogeta does versus Janemba. Gohan's aura is too strong for this dude to punch through, meaning the difference between him and Cell Max is greater than Super Gogeta versus Janemba. And even when Cell Max condenses an energy blast as big as a continent, Gohan easily fodderizes it with a special beam cannon to the head and ends the day while Piccolo hypes up how Goku and Vegeta couldn't have done that, in which Gohan actually agrees. The promo material for Beast Gohan also explains that Gohan in this form will now become the strongest warrior after releasing his late...
Personally, I will say this. I will get into the other stuff because I do want to talk about statements in the movie and what was shown in the movie, because I think there's a clear-cut difference in that. And when you look at what was shown in the movie compared to what was stated, though there wasn't as much, it does not really correlate. There's quite a bit of contradictions there, and I'll get into it. I did do it in my power scaling video, so if you guys want to go check that out and see what I mean, you guys can go check it out. But I will touch upon it in this video just a little bit towards the end of this video. But yeah, him saying Piccolo and them, if I'm being honest, this is just them sounding stupid and the writing sounds stupid, because they said some couple of the whole thing with what Goku said. It clearly showed me that the writing is not up to par when it comes to consistency, and this happens to any movie. There's a lot of movies out there with plot holes. Sometimes you can ignore it, other times you just you have to either accept it, ignore it, or just call it out and say, hey, this is bad, and there might be a different way to deal with it. But yeah, I don't know.
And I'm not kidding when I say that the absolute amount of statements for this are just stacked. Here's one from Toriyama as well, where he basically just says, Gohan is stronger than anyone, or so it's said, but lately he hasn't really gotten a chance to shine. In order to motivate Gohan, it takes his revered teacher Piccolo rather than his father, Goku. And of course, this is just supposed to be the fact that Gohan is supposed to be able to be the strongest, and the movie is just sort of reestablishing that information, or that level for him. Meaning, at the very least, even if you don't believe the Gammas and Cell Max are, Gohan Beast is absolutely putting Goku and Vegeta on a stretcher at probably the same time, just like Black Frieza did. The only counters really for this that people seem to think are counters are the fact that Cell Max's battle feels a lot like a weird Dragon Ball Heroes battle with Android 8.
So he's going to go to some arguments. Hopefully, if he touches upon the things that I touched upon, I want to see how he handles it, because it shows to me that this is incorrect. But he mentions that he should put them in a stretcher like how Frieza Black did. This is one of the problems I have with him. He over-exaggerates a lot of these times. If you ever watch his videos, he's like, this character could do this. Like, no, stop. Gohan putting them in a stretcher doesn't make any bit of sense. That's one of the reasons why I hated the fact that half Saiyans have such high potential, because the only person who really benefited from that was Gohan. Trunks didn't get that benefit. Goten didn't get that benefit. Even future Gohan didn't get it. Only the main timeline Gohan did. Because these other characters went through more hardships and trained more, and they haven't, obtained higher forms. Especially, future Trunks and future Gohan. They should have gotten insane power boost, but we've only seen, main timeline Gohan get it. Also, I just don't like the idea of Goku and Vegeta having godly forms and train all like this way to get as powerful, and him just getting angry can get more powerful or to their level. If it is the case, then yeah, it is just dumb writing and bad writing, which it isn't too far out of the realms, because they did in Broly movie and Resurrection of F, and have been continuously doing it throughout the entire franchise at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I do have kind of arguments for it.
Krillin and Fat Gotenks helping to hold off Cell Max for some reason. It's sort of just kind of like all the Z Fighters jumping Omega Shenron at the end, and for some reason Hercule can take a hit from Omega.
That's
Shenron
what I mentioned in the.
And just be a...
That's funny because I mentioned that. So he is talking about that a little bit. I did mention that in the Saint Scholar video where I was like, "You're saying that Gohan and Goten are so powerful because they can take hits from these guys, but like, so could he. It's obviously the guy's holding back when he's hitting different people."
Okay, afterward. This is clearly just to have some heroes join the fight and lose, and not to be taken super literal. Maybe
also, GT has shit writing, so it's like, don't use that as an argument, because the writing in that is very bad.
Goku coming in after God Vegeta came in and fought Broly. But if you want to take it literal, Cell Max is probably just decaying by this point on some Fusion Zamasu type B after the Gammas fought him with Piccolo. Or is it really using his full power, as he clearly uses more power later against Gohan Beast? The other denial point is that Toriyama said that if Cell Max was complete, he could beat Broly, implying Broly could beat him normally. The only problem with this is that Toriyama would be referencing a post-Gogeta movie Broly, not Broly from the actual Broly movie. Most people seem to think that Broly would not get stronger after fighting Gogeta.
Yeah, he
I
definitely
have
would.
zero idea why. We even see him clearly on Beerus' planet, and it's implied they've been training with him a few times.
That's why I don't like them bringing into. That's why I don't like the way they handle the power scaling with like Broly and stuff like that. People love the movie, but think about it logically. What's the point of Goku and Vegeta? If he can get this powerful by himself, just from a one little fight. Him being trained by Whis or Beerus, he should be significantly more powerful than Goku and Vegeta, and at that point, no threat should be really that big of a deal, unless if you want to make even more BS and mess it up more by having these other characters, these villains, have even more ridiculous potential. But even then, Goku and Vegeta are still outclassed. Unless if you give them a BS power, but then it's like, it's just all it's ass backwards. None of it makes sense. It's just such a mindfuck. That's one of the reasons why I hate what Dragon Ball has become. Even prior to it, GT did the same thing. GT and Super, they're in the same ballpark of stupidity when it comes to power scaling. Nothing makes sense, and it's like, what's the point? What's the point of doing these big battles or saying this character's more powerful, that character's more powerful, if there's no consistency to it? So I just think it's ridiculous.
No, Broly movie Gogeta still gets slammed, and the statements of Cell Max versus Gohan being the strongest battle we've ever seen can
Once
still
again,
be
that's hyperbolic.
Even if Broly in the background is stronger, we've just never seen how strong he actually is, other than the fact he's probably stronger than Cell Max, but that wouldn't apply to Broly movie Broly. Just this hypothetical trained Broly we haven't seen. I'd also say that Cell Max didn't try unleashing his max power once again until Gohan Beast did appear, and I think the visuals and techniques used are indicative of that, as well as the statements. This also helps the movie make more sense alongside the things like Krillin and etc. So, when Cell gets scared, or he starts getting beat up more, it's potentially he either powered up or started just unleashing and rampaging all his power, sort of like Kefla did on Omen 2 Goku. The last one is that Piccolo says that without Gamma 2's sacrifice dropping Cell Max's power, they could have never won. This is not because Gohan Beast could not have beaten Cell Max, but because they never would have gotten the time to do so, and Piccolo never would have been able to restrain Cell Max or hold him off for long enough for Gohan to get hyped up and then transform when Piccolo was defeated. Nobody would have been able to fight him for that long, and even then, Cell Max clearly uses more power on Gohan Beast than he did on Piccolo and the others, even when he is nerfed by Gamma 2's attack. I wouldn't be surprised if a hypothetical completed Cell Max was actually a rival to Gohan Beast. That is just my headcanon, but I do think rationally that would probably make the most sense to me from a writing standpoint, and until Super continues, we'll have to deal with.
That's one of the problems with I have with people like that. They try to fit these pieces of these puzzles that just don't match. These writers do a very poor job at writing consistent writing, so it's now up on to us as fans apparently to make these puzzles fit, instead of just being honest with ourselves and saying, hey, this is stupid and a lot of this stuff contradicts itself. You can go either way with it, and that's a very dangerous not dangerous, but that's a very that's when it gets very annoying to deal with it, because it's like, well, what's the point of debating then? You can just say, well, they're this powerful or they're this weak. You can bring up any argument or counter argument because there's no consistency to it. So nobody can really get mad when they say this character can't win in a fight. It's just stupid. So he's trying to fit the pieces in. He's like, well, the movie this and that. But let's be honest, it's more reasonable that the writing is just ass. The writers were just writing stupid stuff that don't make any sense. And look, I do like the movie. I said I actually really enjoyed the movie. Even T Sizzle, one of my YouTube friends, was surprised. He's like, I'm surprised you liked the movie. I hated it. Personally, I enjoyed the movie, but I do hate the dialogue. Some of the writing did not make any sense. And that happens a lot of times in movies where you have inconsistent dialogue that doesn't make sense. You see this usually with plot narratives where something is mentioned and there's a rule stated, but then later on in the movie that rule is broken, and that makes it bad. But when it comes to this, that rule is more for power scaling than just the story writing narrative point in general. So yeah, that's where I have a problem with it, because now, as a debater, especially Seth, as a debater, especially a big one like him, he should have the integrity to not try to force feed these, illogical ideologies into making sense. If it does not make sense, you call it out and say, yeah, this was inconsistency, this was bad power scaling, this doesn't make any sense, this contradicts this and that, instead of just saying, well, I'm going to defend it and try to fit it in, because now when you're putting a headcanon narrative, you seem like a fanboy who's trying to defend it. Because it makes sense, I guess, arguably, if you're just using for Dragon Ball characters, but what if somebody says, well, this character can beat, Goku and stuff? How are you going to logically argue that? If Death Battle does it, how are you going to disagree with what it was stated if they say that they would lose? What would be your counter argument to it? There isn't really anything to state there. It's, the people who disagree with it definitely do have a point to make when it comes to it. So yeah, sorry for that. My camera died, the battery died, so I had to recharge it. So I forgot what I was talking about, so let's just get back into the video.
Speculation, so I'm just going to speculate that. Gohan, as I said in this intro to this video, was a 5-year-old that could headbutt harder than blast that could nuke stars because he got angry. I'm in no way surprised that after having his ultimate potential unleashed by gods in training for so many years, he would eventually reach his own instinct-like power-up by this point.
He's saying by gods. I'm guessing he's using the Supreme Kais from that time he was training against Boo. But let's be honest, that training really didn't do anything for him. It made him a bit stronger, but he really got it from the Elder Kai's, potential unlocking ability. But he didn't train under the gods, and unlike Goku and like Vegeta, who are getting trained by Whis, that's a high-level deity, and he is training them specifically for fighting. And he was training Goku specifically. I think he was probably training Vegeta a little bit too, but especially Goku, to obtain Ultra Instinct and master it. Whereas Gohan was not. He barely has been training, especially in this movie. So that's not a really good comparison. It's kind of a lazy argument.
Always could reach things Goku and Vegeta couldn't with far less time and effort. Going from a power level of no more than 14,000 in Daizenshuu.
Yeah, but that's when their power levels were a lot smaller, so it was more reasonable. But at this point, with the godlyhood and the transformations they got, and the divine energy and stuff, and these other techniques and abilities, he should not be up to the level that easily. I still can see him gaining that level of power, even Piccolo. But like I stated in my Chuck video, it should be in a reasonable way. If it was, let's say, Gohan was still continuously training even while he was working. Let's say he wasn't training super hard, but he was still training decently well, and Piccolo was too, and they were progressively getting stronger, but not enough. And then Whis is like, you know what? You're the son of Goku, and you're Namekian. Well, he just takes, like, let's say he takes Gohan, and he's like, you're the son of Goku, and he's really great and stuff like that, and I see a lot of potential in you. I see even more potential than your father, but you don't know how to unleash it. Maybe I can help you train it. And then he trains Gohan, and Gohan unlocks his Super Saiyan God form, like how we do for Vegeta. Because if Vegeta can do it, he should be able to do it. So he unlocks his Super Saiyan God, then his Super Saiyan Blue and stuff, and then he trains him into the godly forms. And I would still put Goku above him, but I could still put like Gohan. You could still put Gohan around his realm and surpass him at any point of with his potential. But that would have been reasonable for Gohan if he was unlock his his beast form through that. If he was constantly training, obviously not to the extent of Goku and Vegeta. He wouldn't need to. He would just need to train a considerably amount and have Whis train him a bit here and there to unlock his full potential, to showcase more of his full potential, and then have him have the godly forms on top of it. You could see an ultimate godly form, and that's where he could get like the beast form from, because he has the his mystic form where Goku and Vegeta don't. So that's why it's unique to him. They could have done that. And for Piccolo, simply for what I would have done is, they said the Namekian lore, book of lore or whatever, or like mythology book or something, it mentioned the Super Saiyan God. So they're like in their historical books, they had a mentioning of Super Saiyan God itself. So they also knew about Super Saiyan God. So if they had like a ritual for how to obtain Super Saiyan God, they should have done it for Piccolo too. There could have been like a Namekian godly form, and it was in the Namekian book, because why would they have explanation and steps on the Saiyans obtaining godly power, but not on the Namekians? And I think that would have been more, that would have been a better way to do it for Dragon Ball Super, would be to have different races being able to unlock godly power, just in different means and to different extents. You could have still had Piccolo weaker than Goku and Vegeta, because it makes sense that he shouldn't be on the par with them, but at least to enough where he unlocks, Namekian God form that is still pretty powerful and rivals them, and he has some relevance still at this point. Instead of just shoehorning it in one movie, they could have built up to it. They have no build up for these characters. They just automatically give it to them, which is very lazy in my opinion.
7 against Goldo on Namek, to literally punching a guy with a power level of 1 million in the face and comboing him like it's Dragon Ball Fighters after getting mad just one time. And then even
Well, he messed up on that part. That power level jump was when he got it unlocked from Guru. He got his power unlocked by Guru, right? But after that, he got stronger through multiple battles. Just like how Vegeta progressed to get stronger throughout the fights by getting healed up, so did Gohan. He got healed and he went through multiple fights. He was getting pummeled by, his second form. He had his foot on his head and he was crying out in pain. But then he got healed by Dende, and then he came back, and then he got he got a Zenkai boost, and then he got his Rage boost on top of it. So it made sense. And also, it was only because second form Frieza was, one, caught off guard, and two, he was allowing it to mess with him. Once when he wasn't holding back, he was not really scathed. So yeah, that power system, he forgot a lot of steps in why, Gohan was that powerful and able to do that. So yeah, that's just incorrect.
That same guy after he transformed 2 more times shortly after. Or even getting such a crazy amp as a Super Saiyan 2 9-year-old that even with 7 years of insanely intense training, Goku and Vegeta are still hyping up just how strong this kid actually was back then. 7 years later, and they're still talking about how he was that guy, and talking about if he gets angry, nobody can beat him.
I think that's only because it's a measuring stick of his power. Gohan, they're basically just saying that, Gohan was the most powerful being at that time, and that's just a comparison. It doesn't mean that he is just so powerful, but it just means that, hey, back then he was so damn powerful that he was the most powerful being, and he would be the benchmark for that. Goku and Vegeta did surpass him, but remember, even though Gohan has been lacking on training, all he had to do was stay consistent a little bit and get angry to, get back up higher there. Also, at that point, Vegeta was only Super Saiyan 2 level, Goku was Super Saiyan 3 level, and Goku was hiding that from everybody. So I'm pretty sure Goku was playing coy when it came to that. He definitely was more powerful than Gohan. Even if Gohan went full on and unleashed his rage and stuff, his Super Saiyan 2 form rage would not be enough to be even close to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Goku just didn't want to, use it because he felt like he's a dead guy and he had no business, interfering with the living world, and they should handle it themselves. And Vegeta did get stronger, but he still needed his, to get powered up through the Majin form to get stronger. Also, I would say he did stop training for quite a while. I don't know when he picked up, because he did say when Goku died that he's given up on training, and so yeah, he probably gave up for like a couple of years. There's no reason, I don't know why he went back to training, but he gave up. So he possibly didn't train for a full 7 years. He probably trained for like a certain amount of time of that or time frame, but definitely not the full length 7 years, since he did say he quit.
Simply just did it again in this movie, and we all forgot that Gohan really was like that, just like Toriyama said that he is. The conclusion.
But that's the problem. You can't just say they have potential so they can reach any level. That's just ridiculous. That's a stupid argument to make. Like, you can't say that a character that is significantly surpassed and developed in power, simply because they have potential, they can go up higher. That's just like a kid. It sounds like a child saying, well, they have high potential, so they should be. No, it should still be consistent. It should still be reasonable. Him going from, being mystic form, which is like stronger than Super Buu, maybe even Buuhan at this point, and maybe Bootanks or Buuhan. That is nowhere near on the level where they are at. So it's just stupid to say that it makes sense that his jump in power would be reasonable. No, it's not. It's just ridiculous.
Even after training with angels and learning an Ultra Instinct form and becoming the strongest in the universe, to the point Goku surpasses a guy that required a Super Saiyan Blue level fusion and just an arc ago to defeat, and could beat down Jiren, Gohan surpasses them all by a massive portion. Remember that Goku tired out Jiren in just MUI, or Master Ultra Instinct, and surpassed Broly from the Broly movie even before he learned true Ultra Instinct that could bully that form in all of the Granola arc promotional material, where he is stated to be the strongest in the universe, alongside Vegeta. That Broly he surpassed in Granola would be stronger than the Broly movie version 2, which may have already been stronger than Beerus, albeit I doubt they'll go with that in the final. In the anime version, though, Broly would be stronger than Beerus.
Here's the thing that I'll give you guys about the Beerus thing. They stated already Beerus is stronger than Goku and stuff. For people who are saying he's going to be stronger than him, this is the problem with that argument. They're not just going to have Goku and Vegeta surpass Beerus and that's it, and they just surpass him like, well, we're stronger than him. If they're going to do that, they're going to still have one more fight left. So until they have a fight, a rematch against Beerus, Goku and Vegeta, or just Goku or Vegeta, whichever situation they choose, they will still have to fight Beerus before they actually state that one character is stronger. The writers are not gonna be like, oh, they're stronger than Beerus without having them fight Beerus. I think that's the problem with a lot of Dragon Ball fan base's mindset. Once they get one, people are saying, well, how much stronger do they have to get? Remember, this series has had terrible power scaling throughout the entire thing. So don't be surprised if they keep on pushing the envelope for, Beerus and his strength, and keep on, making Goku and Vegeta and all these other characters ridiculously powerful, and still having Beerus above them. Because if they're willing to make these other characters get insane power jumps, why wouldn't they make Beerus just keep on giving him a reason to be above them? Personally, I feel like no character has proven to be above him. The only time we will see it, and there will be 100% evidence that they are stronger than him, is if they get into a fight with him. Because let's be honest, it will be a complete wasted potential. They mentioned it before that there's going to be a rematch. It'll be a complete waste of a story and potential to have these characters surpass him and not first fight him and beat him. If they just surpassed him and they're just like, regularly, nonchalantly, without fighting him, then what's the point, The whole point of Beerus being there is to be a high standard benchmark for godlyhood. For Goku and Vegeta to be able to reach that or beat that, or surpass that, they'll first have to fight Beerus. So since they haven't fought Beerus, I still don't think they're, stronger than him. So that's how I would, classify it as. So if any of you guys ever question, who would win in a fight? Or are these guys stronger than Beerus now? Are they stronger than Beerus now? No. Until they fight Beerus, then they will be stronger than him. At that point, because I think the rematch, they'll definitely have them win it. But till right now, they're not. So once again, I'm going to re-explain that. They're not stronger than Beerus because they haven't had a rematch against Beerus. Once they do have a rematch against Beerus, then you can say that they're stronger. But right now, there's no way that they're going to be stronger. People keep saying that they're stronger, but why would they do that? Why would they have them surpass Beerus and not have them fight him? Because the whole point they're keep on trying to show is that they have to surpass him. If he's a benchmark, if they just surpass him without fighting him, there's no point of having him as a benchmark. The whole point of having somebody as a benchmark is, I reach your level, now let's fight. The fact that they haven't fought him means they're not on his level. So until they fight him, they're at his level. If they don't, then they're still not. So at this point, I don't consider anybody on Beerus' level in that universe. Only Whis is above him.
Or at least Goku would be. As in the anime, Goku in MUI surpasses Beerus at the end of the Tournament of Power. In Beerus' own words, I'm not joking, Beerus himself literally internally monologues that in a guide, with Broly rivaling Beerus and Gogeta Blue completely dominant.
See, this is the problem with him. People always hype up Seth. They're like, Seth is the best power scaling. And I'm new to this YouTube, scene, so I might at some point in the future be considered one of the top power scaler, hopefully. But this is one of the problems with him and people taking his words too literally. They're saying, well, he says this and that. He's saying that he's stronger than Beerus said in his monologue he's stronger. No, what Beerus said was that he has mastered Ultra Instinct better than him, and Whis had also agreed with that. Beerus explained more towards the the granola arc when he was training Vegeta. He's Goku's basically he's akin that Goku is more like Whis and Vegeta is more like him. Whis and Goku are more carefree and they're more about the martial arts style, the fighting form, just having fun. Whereas Beerus and Vegeta are more about they're more aggressive. They're more about attacking their opponent. They're more about finishing them. They're more about destroying anybody that's in their way. That's their style. And he was trying to explain to him that the problem with because Vegeta wanted to get Ultra Instinct too, and he explained to him the problem with him trying to obtain is he doesn't have the mindset of it. Goku has more of the mindset. He has the more laid-back mindset. You're more too stiff and hard-headed. That's what I do. And the reason why, basically what he was trying to explain to him was his mentality is why he cannot, obtain it. And though Beerus and the other gods of destruction can use it, Beerus cannot fully utilize Ultra Instinct because of his rage, because of his destruction desire, just like the other gods of destruction. So there might be gods of destruction that can perfectly master it. They found a way to do it. Beerus probably still hasn't because of what they've stated. But I think the reason why Beerus in particular can't do it is his personality. You can still be a destroyer and think about destroying, but still be calm. I think the other gods of destruction, like Jin, the fish one, I think he, from what I've seen, he's more like calm. You can be a calm destroyer, whereas Beerus, he's an aggressive, raging destroyer. So that doesn't really sync up with him. That's what they meant. They were not saying, he was not saying that, oh, Goku surpassed me in my power. Like I said, if he did surpass him, Goku would have had a fight against him. he would have had a fight against him before that, you know? Goku would have been like, oh, let's fight. Beerus would have wanted to fight him. Let's be honest. Let's think logically. If he surpassed him, Goku, a guy like him, would definitely want to fight Beerus. Beerus, somebody like him who wanted a challenge, would have definitely fought Goku. He was disappointed because Super Saiyan God wasn't enough. Now that Goku surpassed him, why wouldn't he fight him? That's just stupid. And on top of it, they clearly stated, and I don't know how he misinterpreted this, but they stated that he surpassed him when it came to, you know, mastering and obtaining Ultra Instinct, because he did get the mastered form, whereas Beerus is still trying to obtain it because of, you know, the discrepancy between his mentality and his other, you know, duties as a destroyer, god of destruction, with, you know, the Angel's thing, which is basically absentee of mind. So yeah. No, it was not him mentioning of strength. It was him talking about specifically Ultra Instinct.
That as well. Meaning
so this whole calculation that he's giving right here is incorrect.
Gohan Beast might just Terminator Beerus as well as Goku.
Yeah, see, this is this pisses me off. I'm sorry, but I know I'm getting heated, but this pisses me off. This is why I hate watching these type of, you know, debaters, because they're like, oh, Gohan could easily one-shot Beerus. They make these ridiculous claims, and then when you watch the series and you see it, guess what? They always get contradicted. Why? Because it doesn't make sense. And he's been contradicted before. He did the same thing, but with Gohan way back when Dragon Ball Super was happening. They mentioned in the Resurrection of F arc, they said, oh, he's stronger than he's ever been. So he was stating that, Gohan, even without his Ultra Instinct form, without his Mystic form, and even without Super Saiyan 2, and Super Saiyan 1 alone is stronger than he's ever been. He's stronger than his Mystic side. He's this and that. And then we saw later on that no, he got bodied by, you know, first form Frieza easily, casually. He was also shown nothing else afterwards, and Piccolo stated that you have to get stronger to get back to that. So yeah, he stated even back then in the Frieza, in the Resurrection of F saga, saying, oh, they stated that he's stronger than he's ever been, and took it so literal that he thought that even though he lost his Mystic form, even though he lost his Super Saiyan 2, and stated was to lost considerable amount of power, that he was somehow stronger than he was when he was in the Buu saga, and they completely proved him wrong, and he was debunked on his own, claims, and he didn't say anything much afterwards. So yeah, he makes these ridiculous claims all the time, thinking this way, and then when you watch the show, it's going to contradict it. Trust me, in the future, when it comes back, all the stuff he's saying right now is going to look ridiculous. Beerus is not going to be shown up or surpassed, and Gohan's not going to be surpassing him even with his beast mode. And then it's like, what are you going to say then? So yeah, don't listen to this. Don't listen to ridiculous claims like he can beat him. Until he's proven otherwise, I don't care what you say. And that argument that he made, like I said, I already disproven it. It was just incorrect.
Probably in a 3v1. Yeah, just as the thumbnail suggests, they'd be lucky if Gohan didn't just blink them away after reading a book on how cool bugs are or something.
See how stupid the claims he makes?
At least, you know.
This is just the problem I have with debaters in general, but especially Dragon Ball debaters. What the hell has happened to you guys? Seth and Chuck are the highest levels of, you know, power scale in the Dragon Ball community, and this is the shit they come up with. This BS saying that he could, you know, easily blink out Jiren and Broly and can beat, you know, Beerus casually. Get the fuck out of here, dude. This is the stupidest argument. This is dumb as shit. I'm sorry, Seth, but this is completely moronic. I think he's gotten to the point where he thinks he knows everything when it comes to power scaling, but he clearly doesn't. I've disproven him in a couple of other times with my other videos. Not directly, but, indirectly, means of counteracting some of his arguments and points he's made. He doesn't really, really in-depth analyze. He just goes with statements and acts like an idiot and just accepts it.
Movie anime version, Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, Broly, and etc. Because after the Broly movie, they all get stronger, and the manga would be a little bit different, but blah, 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 blah. Anyway, although I would have liked it if he was more obvious that he trained more. So, one last bit of copium that I think makes the movie make more sense for me, and this is an interview I sort of found more recently from Toriyama, and that interview is that the Gammas in a lot of promotion material are hyped up as being able to compete with Goku and Vegeta. However, Toriyama makes a statement that's kind of interesting, and he says this. He says, "My favorite character is Piccolo because of his quiet stoicism. It's rare to see him talk and run around as much as he does this time around. And this is also probably the first time he's got a proper transformation. Since he doesn't have any hair to stick straight up, I tried making him really buff and stuff instead, but I figured on its own this would make it kind of hard to tell you to transform, so I actually made him orange, although there are probably still times when it's hard to tell the difference between this and his normal form. But this is where it gets interesting. He says, maybe I should have made it a bit more over the top, but personally, I'm just happy that he's finally obtained battle power on par with Goku and Gang. Meaning that if you really want...
The problem with, and I'm not saying it towards him in this one, but the problem with using Toriyama and all these other people's, like, you know, statements and stuff is, let's be honest, they're not very consistent with their statements. They're very, I don't want to be an asshole, but they're kind of stupid. Let's be honest, they're a little stupid when it comes to this. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Toriyama has shown and proven countless times that he clearly doesn't know what the hell he's talking about when he's talking about his own IP, which is ridiculous. How do you create something and know less than the fans themselves? This guy forgot about Super Saiyan 3 and thought Super Saiyan 2 was Super Saiyan 3. This guy is not somebody you should trust when it comes to these statements. He contradicts everything he says. He stated in the anime that, oh, Boo was created by Bibbidi's dad, Bobby's dad, Bibbidi. And then later on, he's like, nope, he's always been around here. He's an evil carnation and stuff, and he's been around in existence and stuff. So he contradicts himself all the time. I mean, even when you go with, like, his statements with Elder Kai, he's saying Beerus was the one who trapped Elder Kai in the sword. When Elder Kai literally stated that the person who trapped him was more evil, wasn't as evil as Boo, but still evil and weaker than Boo, which Beerus is not evil. He does stuff that might seem evil, but he's not evil, and he's way more powerful than Boo. And also, he made like a statement where he stated, nobody has, no mortals enter the Supreme Kai's realm. Not even the Grand Kai's come there. And then we have the story about what happened with, Elder Kai, how he got that way. He fused, a witch got on there, and she fused with him. If it's only for Supreme Kai's, how the hell did a witch get on there? So yeah, he contradicts himself all the time. And I know as an author or a writer, you would take his word more seriously. But when there's so many contradictions, and to the point where he even states he doesn't know what he's talking about, it's not something I'll take serious. Unless if it's shown otherwise in what he was writing. Because then that would be his intent. But if it's just statements and there's no real connection from the feats, then it's just him making stuff up and not making sense.
To get to the very worst of it, he thinks that Orange Piccolo, which folded the Gamma in one hit, would be as strong as Goku and Vegeta. And then you can kind of see how when Orange Piccolo was like holding off Cell Max, but he was struggling really hard and eventually lost, that's what would have happened to Goku and Vegeta if they tried to fight Cell Max one-on-one as well. So instead of the Gammas maybe being equal to Goku and Vegeta, Orange Piccolo being Goku Vegeta level might make more sense. And as well as the fact that if there is a Tournament of Power 2, Orange Piccolo being at Goku Vegeta's like instinct levels with the orange form would make a lot of sense, as this would be like his orange form to even the playing field, and that's sort of what Toriyama was kind of imagining in his head. So the Gammas might actually be blue Goku and Vegeta level, and that's why Gohan was able to kind of fight him in just their ultimate state, and then the orange one would be like the instinct levels. Although, once again, maybe Hito just miscalculated, as he just considered the Moro arc like their maximums, or he couldn't properly gauge it, or current blue Goku and Vegeta are just as strong as Ultra Instinct Goku from the past, or something. Now that would be crazy, but yeah. The facts are the facts. Gohan Beast is the strongest fight we've ever seen in history. Well,
once again, I don't know why he keeps on going back to that. He should know at this point, for how long he's been doing power scaling, that statements like these are very hyperbolic, and unless there's proof to it, there isn't really much to go by. Now, this is pretty much the end of the video, so I will be ending this part off, but I will be talking about afterwards, and my reasoning for why they aren't that strong, because I know some of you are going to disagree, but I mentioned this in my power scaling video, and I want to talk about it in this one. So, okay, let's talk about why I disagree with them being that strong. I explained in my other video about Gamma 1 and 2, the big problem with them. If Gamma 1 and 2 are that powerful, then there's a couple of things that's wrong with that. One, Gamma 2, when he was fighting his Piccolo and trying to wipe him out, how come he couldn't instantly kill him? Because his directive was to kill Piccolo, but he wasn't able to kill him. Yes, you could say he was holding back when he was hitting him, obviously, but still his main directive was to take him out. And he was able to escape by, when he fired that energy attack. If he was that powerful, his energy attack would be too fast for Piccolo to dodge or get out of. Also, with his, abilities, even if he was holding back, he should have been able to kill him with a couple of hits. And if he was like, doing what his main directive was to kill him, which he's an android and he can't really go against it, he should have been, not holding him back that much and been able to kill him. Second of all, when we have Gohan fighting the other one, he's stating that Gohan was strong enough because he was able to handle Goku and stuff. Once again, throughout that entire time, people were arguing, him himself included, was arguing that Goku was holding back significantly when he was fighting against those characters in Super Saiyan Blue. So he wasn't fighting Gohan in his Mystic Form with Super Saiyan Blue at full power. He was holding back significantly. He was just, holding back and messing around to see if he would be able to, fight, a guy on that level. So there was that problem. But also, this is a 5-year time skip after that. Actually, possibly even more than that, since the Tournament of Power. And the reason why I say that, I mean, we know that because Trunks and Goten got older, but that matters because Gohan did not train for those 5 years, so he would have gotten still back to being weak again, and so weak to the point where Piccolo was disappointed in him. 1, 2, when Piccolo put his clothes on him, he was like, "This is heavy," which didn't make sense to me because that's at most 250 pounds. Like, he was struggling to hold out. He's like, oh. And third, his daughter Pan was able to sense Piccolo easier than Gohan was. Pan was able to sense his energy, and when Gohan couldn't, Piccolo's like, really? Has he fallen this far? So yes, Gohan significantly lost power. And you can say maybe he got rage boost, but it wouldn't be enough to get a significant power, because when he found out, Pan got kidnapped, he got enraged, he went Super Saiyan 2 and fought him. And though he wasn't, winning, he was able to put a little bit of pushback against, Gamma 1. He was able to at least, throw hands with him and go back and forth with him. So, yeah. That whole, these guys are on Goku and Vegeta's level, Blue level, whatever. If that was the case, then how come Gohan in Super Saiyan 2 level, which he got significantly weaker, and like I pointed out, if he got significantly weaker, then how was he able to throw hands back? And once when he went to Mystic Form, he was dominating him. Even if Mystic Form, you get him back, he gets more powerful, still, he would have the levels dropping in his power from not training and just, not doing anything. So yeah. Even in his Mystic Form, he should be weaker than what he was before. So yeah, if he's able to handle Gamma 1 and, give him the business, and Orange Piccolo is able to body him, then that would basically mean that what? Gamma 1 and 2 are not Goku and Vegeta level, because they're, Gamma 1 is struggling against somebody like Gohan, who is significantly weaker and can't even sense Piccolo's energy. That's how pathetic he got. So yeah, I disagree with that. Gamma 1 and 2 are not that powerful. And then Cell Max, keep on saying Cell Max is this powerful and that powerful. Here's the problem with Cell Max. In my video, I explained that, well, he was fighting, and he just mentioned this a little bit in his video, but didn't go into depth. And that was when he was fighting against the other Z fighters, they were taking full-on hits. Krillin took hits. Gotenks took hits, which he is significantly weak. Android 18 was taking hits, and they were taking it and withstanding it and surviving it. They were obviously not, they were able to not, one, or be able to actually somewhat affect Cell Max. I'm not saying they hurt him, but they were able to do pushbacks and stop him and do that, but they were also able to take his attacks and not die. And some of you might say, well, he might be holding back, but he can't hold back. He's a monster. He's in his rage state. There's no way you can try to argue to me that these guys flying around and him swinging his hands, once when he hits a Krillin, he lowers his power level to, not kill him. And then when he hits like somebody like Gohan and Piccolo, who are significantly stronger, raises his power level back up and knocks him around. It's more reasonable that he was swinging with his full strength and hitting them, and it wasn't able to kill them. It was just able to hurt them and put them down for a bit. And also, he was significantly damaged by having Fat Gotenks get smashed on his head, and that cracked his head. It could have destroyed him. He's talking about, oh, well, he got destroyed by, Beast Gohan's special beam cannon, but he almost got destroyed by, Fat Gotenks being smashed onto his head too. So it's like, that's not that impressive or powerful as he tried to make it out to be. And like I said, they were able to withstand hits and, come back until he went like full on energy blasting, and then, basically took them out, but he didn't obliterate them, So if he is that powerful as he says he is, then he should have been able to easily wipe them out, especially as a beast creature that's not holding back. That is very contradictory in that, statement. And, Vegeta even stated that Jiren wasn't stronger than him. He just had better control of his energy, his energy output, which is incorrect 100%. it's incorrect 100%. So like they were tanking that and stuff, and Cell Max didn't show anything that was too crazy. He wasn't, at most they were mentioning was he was going to destroy the planet. There was no mention of the solar system. There was nothing about the galaxy, nothing about the universe being in danger. And as a beast who has no control of his energy and is letting it out, you would think he would do more damage than just destroying a planet. The universe should have been in jeopardy. We saw what happened with Goku and Beerus. Goku didn't have full grasp of his power, and Beerus didn't care, and their clashes was going to destroy the Dragon Ball macrocosm. And this is where they should be significantly weaker. If you're trying to argue Cell Max is so much more powerful, and he's in a beast state that he's losing control, even if he was damaged, his damage side should have still had enough power to, threaten the universe. Also, Gamma 2, wasted all of his life energy to take him out. Didn't kill him, but significantly damaged him. And guess what? Gamma 2, like I said, he was, he's comparable to Gamma 1, who was struggling against, getting pushed back by Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and was getting beaten by Mystic Gohan, who at this point got significantly weaker. So yeah, I don't like that. I think when you look at what was shown compared to what the statements were, personally, I think the writing is bad. I think it's very inconsistent. The statements they're making about, Goku and Vegeta and these characters being that powerful, and the interviews, I think they're just incorrect. Because when you look at the movie itself, Gamma 1 and 2 didn't display any power levels that would be that give Goku and Vegeta a threat or a challenge. And Cell Max also didn't show anything on that level that he was beyond them, that he would be that powerful. Because Cell Max, because like I said, Gamma 2 couldn't even easily kill Piccolo. And then when Piccolo did get the power, it was stated by Shenron that he only got a bit stronger. If he got significantly stronger, that would be one thing. But he said he got a bit stronger, and he was able to one-shot, Gamma 2. And Gamma 1 was barely, he had the advantage, but he was struggling against Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and Mr. Gohan was beating him, and like I said, he couldn't even sense Piccolo's energy, and Piccolo even stated he got significantly weaker. So yeah, that is just BS, and they were able to damage, Cell Max. Cell Max didn't do anything. Also, he stated that Goku surpassed Beerus because Beerus said it. No, he said he surpassed him when it came to, a mastery of Ultra Instinct, because he did get his mastered form on top of that. So yeah, I 100% disagree with Seth the programmer and even Chuck. I don't think that statements alone might be the argument, but here's the thing. What's more important, statements or what was shown? Because what was shown to me does not equate these characters being that powerful. What was stated might be, but what was shown does not correlate. And when you look at statements versus that, I'm sorry, I'm not taking statements. And people do this all the time. There's many times where writers have stated that this is the case, but we've disagreed with it. Why? Because there's contradictories in there. If there's contradictions and stuff that don't make sense and inconsistencies and just illogical thinking, then you have to ignore it because it just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that is my argument for that. I don't think that they're that powerful. I think him and Chuck are definitely over exaggerating their power. And what I'll say is, if let's say the anime comes back, I think the best way to definitively prove who is right is to wait for the anime. So next year, 2023, which isn't too far away. So when next year comes in and the anime comes in, I'm gonna put a bet, no money, but I'm just gonna put a bet on who is right. Me versus Chuck and Seth. If Chuck and Seth are right, I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Both these videos are incorrect. You had every right to, they probably don't even see this, but that's not the point. The whole point I'm trying to make is, I'm so strongly believe in what I'm saying that they're incorrect, that I'm willing to wait when the anime comes out. If the anime proves me otherwise, that yes, Gohan is this powerful and they have surpassed Beerus, and that Gohan would be able to surpass them at that level and Cell Max. If that is the case, I will 100% say, I'm sorry to Seth and Chuck, I was 100% wrong, and these two videos were incorrect. Don't listen to anything I said in those videos because they were just wrong. That's what I would say. But if I am correct, which most likely I feel like I will be when the anime comes out, I'm going to be bragging my ass off because people keep on saying that these guys are like the top level of power scaling. And I'm sorry, but they're not. They're really not. They have some good points, but a lot of times they're very inconsistent. And when it comes to this one, I think they're very wrong. So we're gonna just have to wait until the anime comes out to prove either me or them. And I feel like, like I said, if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. I'll say those videos were dumb. I'm an idiot. You guys don't have to watch them. If you do want to watch them, go ahead and critique me and say I'm wrong and I'm stupid. But if I am right, I'm definitely gonna brag and boast about how I was right and Seth and Chuck were wrong. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be dropping a video after this one, but a completely different video that some of you guys probably will be surprised. I've never really talked about this series, but I have watched it and I do like it, but there's one thing I really want to talk about in particular. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and stay tuned for next time.